most people build websites with Claude completely wrong. Yes, there are a lot of tutorials out there on how to build beautiful landing pages, beautiful websites, dashboards, but nobody really talks about how do you make sure that these websites are secure, they don't leak any data, how do you deploy these websites. So in today's tutorial, I'm just going to talk about how you can build beautiful websites with Claude and with really any AI tool that you want to use. And yeah, let's just jump straight into it. So the first thing that you actually want to do before, you know, committing to building the website is make sure that you have a pro plan or a max plan on Claude. You can use Claude or Gemini, whatever you prefer. In this case, we're going to be using Claude because I think it's much better when it comes to design right now. And after that, we're going to go to VS Code. You can either use VS Code or you can use anti-gravity. You can use Cursor. They're basically the same. They're just an IDE. If you don't know what an IDE is integrated development environment where you can code and you can build things, build projects, and they all do the same. So in this case, we're going to be using VS Code because it's free and is the easiest one to use for me. And as you can see here on the left side, I was working on a previous website for the video, but we're going to be building another one. So what we're going to do is tell Claude to delete this except for the CLAUDE.md file. Please delete all the files in the project except the CLAUDE.md file, please. Oh, sorry. Claude.md file. Okay, now it's done. Before committing to building the website, we want to have clarity, right? So you want to have inspirations, you want to have screenshots of what you're looking for. So the best way to do it is just go online and go to websites like Godly, and you just want a very cool website for inspiration, right? You can actually pick anyone from here. Let's just pick one. Give me 1 second. So I actually like this one for Reset. I think it's a very cool and very beautiful. So what we're going to do is I actually have a extension where you can take a screenshot of an entire page, and we're gonna take that screenshot, we're gonna put it into Claude, and we're just gonna tell you that we want a website similar to this, right? So it should be done. There we go. I don't really like the image, but it will work. So let's just copy it and paste it into Claude. There we go. And after that, what I like to do is I like to also take the URL of the website just in case and put it here. So we're going to say build a website for a AI SaaS company similar to Recent. I attached a URL of their page and also a screenshot. If you need more information, ask me clarifying questions until you're 95% confident that you can do the task. Okay, so now we're done. We're gonna put it into bypass permissions so we don't need to answer all the questions every 5 minutes. So what I was saying, you need to have a Claude.md file because in the Claude.md file, as you can see, you have all the instructions or you have the core idea of what you're looking for, right? So as you can see here, we have like what this is, an AI SaaS marketing side for or consulting agency, to static pages. We have index, contact assets, brand assets, package JSON, screenshot. We want to have a screenshot tool. So every time that Claude makes an update on the website or changes anything, we wanted to take a screenshot to verify the output, right? To make sure it's good. After that, we're gonna have things like NPN. As you can see, run screenshot, accent, the colors, the style that you want. You don't wanna overload the Claude.md file with too much information. but you just want to have the essentials, right? So here, still waiting for Claude to finish. Is still working. So as soon as it finishes, we're gonna jump to the next section of the page. Meanwhile, I'm gonna show you a few pages that you can use for inspiration, or if you want to add components to your site, right? Here is the first one. This one is called 21st.dev. This one is one of my favorite ones. They have a bunch of components that you can use on your sites. The only thing that you got to do is just select the one that you like the most, and you can either copy prompt directly, or you can open it and you can copy the code directly as well. It's going to give you the option for copying the prompt, I believe. Yeah, copying the prompt and copying the code directly. You can also copy the prompt. And a cool thing that they have is that you can actually select which platform you want the prompt to be tailored for. They have Bolt.new, they have Claude, they have Cursor, they have Lovable, they have Replit, they have Vercel. They have a bunch of options. In this case, we're just gonna select Claude, right? So again, you can actually select a lot of components, a lot of things here. Sorry. I'm just gonna select one. Let's see. I really like I think this one is pretty cool. Interactive 3D with the robot. We can also remove this text. As you can see, the little head is moving and the arms is looking in different directions. If you don't want this, you can actually pick another one. This one is really cool as well with the button. So we're just gonna take this one for now. We're just gonna copy the prompt. There we go. And let's see if Claude finished. Nope, it's still here. So you're gonna be able to see that when Claude is working, it's gonna start adding the files here. I like to organize the files here. As you can see, I like to put assets. I like to put CSS. I like to have everything organized, right? And another good thing to do while you're looking for inspiration is just look at the agent working. You want to look at the agent working so you can actually understand what it's doing. The more you analyze and the more you look at it, the more you're going to be able to kind of understand the process of you know the agent just working. I mean, is it going to the web? Is it just generating code? Is thinking? So it's a good thing to do. Okay, so now our website is live, and I can see that it's really really cool. I noticed that it added also like a subtle grid on the background. I don't know if you can see it. It's barely visible, but as you can see, I also added this component from Spline. You can go to their website. It's called Spline, and you're gonna be able to look through a bunch of different components. Really cool 3D and animated components. I think that you need a pro plan to remove the watermark that says built with Spline. But this is only for educational purposes, so we don't really care about that, right? So I also fixed the buttons. They were not working, and as you can see, it pops up a little form where you can submit your email, you can submit your name, you can submit everything. And as you can see, the composition and the design of the website is really really cool. I mean, you can see the interactive graphic here. You can also see all the cards, everything, the scroll down effect, the testimonials. I mean, it's really cool, right? And this is where the real work starts. Because from here, as you can see, the website is not perfect. It needs a little bit more of work, but this is where most people mess up, and they just think that this is the final result and this is it. Like, this is the website. No, if you want the website to be better, you need to obviously polish it a little bit more. You need to tweak things, you need to add more things. As you can see, the website doesn't need too much work right now. I really like how it is. I could fix the footer. I could add a little bit to it. I can also fix the nav I can remove this login button. There are things that can be improved. You can also uh, add icons here. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff that you can add and change, but this is where people actually mess up. Now we are going to fix it and we're going to improve it. What I'm going to do is we're going to search for icons. I want to replace these icons with, like Airtable, Anyden, stuff like that. Um, and also I want to improve the cards. As you can see, the animation when I put my cursor over them is kind of basic. I don't really like this, so I'm gonna also fix that. I really like this section and also this. I also like this a lot. I really really like it, and also the cards here. Yeah, they can also can get a little bit of work, but that's pretty much it. And after we are done with this, then we're going to make sure that the website is secure, and then we're going to be able to deploy it and everything else. Okay, so let's go ahead and fix the marquee first. Okay, so I really like the website and I really like the composition. What we're going to change now is the marquee section in animation. I want you to add icons from recognizable companies like N8N. I also want you to add LinkedIn icon. I want you to add Facebook icon. I also want you to add the Telegram, WhatsApp, Google, add also GitHub icon. And once you're finished, I also want you to ensure that the entire website is responsive to have a great experience throughout all devices and resolutions. Okay, now that's done. Let's do a little bit more. Also, I want you to improve the footer. Right now, the footer is very basic and plain, and I don't really like that. So please do more work and change the design of the footer. If you need more information or context or reference, I can provide that to you as well. And the last thing will be, let me double check. I would like to change the cards animation. Yeah, the cards animation did need some work. So, oh, let me go here. Sorry. There we go. This is the, oh yeah, there we go. Beyond expectations. So in the beyond expectations section, the cards look kind of basic when the user hovers over them. I want you to add a really cool and smooth animation every time that the user hovers over the cards. I can provide examples, but I want you to use the plugin for front end design. I want this website to look really cool and premium and modern, please. Okay, now that's that. We're gonna shoot it off. Let me change to bypass permissions. If you don't know how to change modes, you can just click Shift Tab and you're going to change. As you can see, I'm gonna be able to change from plan mode, edit automatically, auto mode, which is new, and also bypass permissions. We want to send it off. There we go. And then we're just gonna wait. And in the meantime, what I want to do is I want to go to Cloudflare, because here is where we're going to deploy our site, right? I like to use Cloudflare. You can also use Modal. They're really, really, really good. You can also use Vercel, which is also great. I mean, you can use whatever you want, but I prefer Cloudflare. I've been using it for quite some time now, and you can just use whatever you like. In this case, we're just gonna use Cloudflare, right? So let me just log in, and I'm gonna go also to 21st.dev because I want to grab some components from here. I want to grab a pricing section to add it to our website, because as you can see, we actually don't have a pricing section. We just have cards and the footer and the graphics and the icons. I think that we can change this section. This section doesn't really add much and it doesn't evoke anything at all. So we can actually change it, and we are going to add the pricing section in the cards here, right? I think that's the move here. So let's look for our pricing sections. I sometimes like to just go through 21st.dev and look at components and just bookmark them in case I want to use them in the future. You never know. But yeah, it's just an option if you want to do that. So you can see it here, pricing sections. I just want a basic. I'm not too keen. I don't want something very complicated. Just want something clean and nice. I think I really like this one. This can work. Yeah, definitely can work. So we're gonna copy the prompt again. You just go select what you like, copy the prompt, go back to your project. We're gonna paste it in, and we're gonna say, let's go back up. Oh, sorry, didn't mean to do that. So copy, and then we're gonna go back up, and we're gonna say, I want you to add this pricing section to the website. I want you to replace let me look at it. I want you to replace the ship reliable agents section with all the icons and text. And here I want you to add the pricing section. Only work on the code and use a screenshot tool if you need it. Also, I want you to make sure that the animations of the cards are clean and smooth. Ensure all the cards have the same length and also the same size, and make sure every single line of text is aligned properly. I also want the buttons on the pricing cards to have a very subtle animation. So if you need more context or examples or information from me, please let me know and ask me clarifying questions until you're 95% that you can complete the task. Okay, now that's done. And I also can add okay, so we're going to shoot that off once it finishes. And in the meantime, while it's working, I also want to look for a button animation. We don't, as I said, we don't really want to be uh like too complicated in this. Just a basic animation for the button, and that's it. That'll be the last change that I want to do, and then we're going to deploy, and then we're going to make sure that the entire website is clean and also secure and ready to deploy, right? As I said, this is only an example of what you can do with with as I said, as I said, this is just an example of a what you can. As I said, this is just an example of what you can do with very little to no like references and stuff like that. This is only when I want to make a quick website, with a few examples, and I don't want to be like spending too many hours on this. And yeah, so let's go ahead and just look for a really cool animation for our button. I think I bookmarked a, yeah, there we go. I really like this one. Yep. So we're gonna use this one, and once it finishes, then we're gonna shoot it off. And in the meantime, we're just gonna wait again. Okay, so Claude just finished the last changes, and here is the basically the entire site. Now, what I'm going to do, or what I like to do before deploying any site, is going to Claude and saying this. Hey, I really like what you did with the entire site, and I believe that this is the final product and the final result that we were looking for. I want you to use the front end design plugin to improve the overall design one last time. Improve any sections, any buttons, any text, any animations that you think can be better or can be improved just a tiny bit or entirely. And once you do that, we're going to deploy the website to Cloudflare, and we're also going to create our GitHub repo. Okay, so now Claude has finished, and now it seems that it pushed my new GitHub repository for the website. Let's see. I'm going to refresh the page to see if it's correct. We're going to GitHub, going to refresh the page again, and we're gonna be able to see if it's, yeah, there we go, relay landing page. There we go. Here it is. So now that we have our entire website is on GitHub right now. So the last thing to do is deploy, right? So we're going to deploy to Cloudflare, and I'm gonna say, great. Now the website is in GitHub, and I want you to deploy this to Cloudflare. I already have a Cloudflare account, and I want you to deploy it. There we go. So I've also did a little more while I was recording. I was making some changes. I was just making sure that the entire site is good and that the code is good. So right now, everything should be fine, and we're gonna be able to deploy it without any issues. If you want to deploy it to Cloudflare without telling Claude, I believe there is a command for you to deploy it automatically. I think. Well, I exactly don't remember the command, but you just open the terminal. It's Control Shift and the little icon. I mean, I don't know how to explain it, but it's a keybind. I don't know. But let's just connect repo and dashboard. Yeah, I want that. Okay. So now we're just gonna wait, and that's basically it. Now you should have a completely live website in less than what, 30 minutes, 20 minutes. Of course, the longer you make changes, for example, if you want to add more components, if you want to add buttons, animations, and stuff like that, the only barrier is basically you waiting for Claude to finish the work. That's literally it. Like, there's nothing else. You just give the instructions or the changes that you want to make, and you just wait and do that over and over and over and over and over again. So yeah, that's basically it. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Let me double check if, okay. So it says go to Cloudflare, works in pages, create pages tab, connect, get. Okay, so we're gonna go to Cloudflare. So works in pages. Where is it? I think it's here. Yeah, workers and pages. There we go. So here are a few of the sites that I've created for myself. These are just personal projects. Um, and works and pages, creates tab. So now, basically, so now the last step is basically to deploy it and go to Cloudflare and create everything. So now, as you can see, Claude is telling me go to Cloudflare, workers and pages, then create pages tab and connect to get. So we're gonna go to Cloudflare, workers and pages, create application. You're just going to click connect with GitHub. You can also use connect with GitLab, or if you want to also upload your file or your folder, you can do that. And in my case, I'm just gonna select connect with GitHub, and I want to search my repository relay. Oh, there we go. Relay landing. There we go. This is a repository that I want to upload, and I don't want to. Well, you can keep this blank. Doesn't really matter. It's optional, and you're just gonna hit deploy, and that's it. So once you deploy the site, Cloudflare is going to give you a link. This can take up to 2 minutes. It's not that long, even less than 2 minutes, sometimes 30 seconds. But yeah, in a few minutes, you're gonna have a completely live website. And as I said, you can also use Modal, you can use Vercel if you want. It doesn't really matter what you want to use. Just use whatever you like or whatever feels more comfortable to use for you, obviously. And yeah, that's basically it. I'm just gonna wait for Cloudflare to finish here and gonna see you in a few seconds. So I'm glad that this happened. So you can see that nothing is perfect. It seems that I got an error while deploying this to Cloudflare. Oh, so I'm glad that this happened. It seems that I got an error while uploading this to Cloudflare. When something like this happens, I don't know exactly what happened and why I got an error. So I'm just gonna take a screenshot of my screen and I'm gonna say just fix it. So it seems that we got an error. I'm glad that something like this happened, so you can see that nothing's perfect. But basically, whenever something like this happens, I'm just gonna tell Claude, "Hey, I got an error. Can you help me?" And yeah, that's it. That's basically it. So paste this and say, "Hey, it seems that we hit an error while trying to deploy this. I don't know why. Please see why or analyze why we got an error while deploying this to Cloudflare. Is there something wrong with the code? Is there something wrong with our build?" Okay, so now I'm gonna shoot that off, and again, we're just going to wait. So Cloud, sorry, Claude should be smart enough to identify what went wrong and fix it. So in a few minutes, we're gonna be able to just deploy it back to the cloud. Okay, so Claude just finished and told me just to try one more time. So I'm going to do that. I'm not gonna no, I'm not gonna overcomplicate it. Just retry build and let's see. Now it should be good. And yeah. So again, you can build these websites in less than an hour, 40 minutes, 30 minutes. Obviously, it's going to take longer the more features and the more stuff you want to add. If you want to add animations, buttons, components, anything that you want. Obviously, it's going to take more, but the only barrier to keep in mind when it comes to building this stuff is just the time between you telling Claude what to do or the changes that you want to make and Claude doing it. That's literally it. Nothing else. You just have a clear goal, write it down if you want, or use the plan mode, which is the thing that I recommend. Use the plan mode. And once you are certain of the result that you want or what you're looking for, then you just start building. And go with Claude, along the way, making changes and stuff like that. So it seems that, okay, so now we try again, and it seems that now it's deployed. So let's see if that's correct. It seems everything is good. So let's go to workers and pages, retry or relay landing. There we go. We don't have any domain. You can also connect a domain if you want, obviously. And it seems that it's okay. So there you go. Now we have our website completely live on the internet. I mean, we have a fully functional website in the cloud on the internet. Obviously, it's not the most beautiful website in the world. I mean, you can obviously improve it, and it needs a little bit more work, you might say, but it's looking good. It's looking good. I really like it. Simple, clean, dark. I really like it. So The last step that I want to make is, if you want to ensure, or if you're building a web app or something like that, that you most likely are going to have an API in your app or in your website or in your project, you want to run a security audit 100% of the time, because nowadays, things that are vibe coded are very easy to hack and very easy to find small gaps on the security. So you want a full security audit, to make sure that everything is fine, nothing is going to leak, because if you're going to use real people's data, you obviously need a strong security, because otherwise you're gonna get sued, or you don't want to be in jail. So you don't want to be in jail. So I'm gonna give you a free prompt in the description that you can run every single time that you build a website, and I'm also gonna give you another free prompt that you can run every single time that you're building a web app or something of that nature. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. If you would like to see more videos like this, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment. I mean, this is my first video and there's a lot more to come. I'm very, very passionate about this. And yeah, I hope to see you soon. And I hope that you learned something from this video. And if you have any questions, I will always look at the comments and answer your guys' questions. So don't be afraid to ask anything. As I said, I'm not an expert. I'm not an AI expert, but I'm always willing to learn. And yeah, I mean, this is pretty simple. So thank you guys for watching and have a great rest of the day. Okay.